Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast At Home with Iris. I hope you all have been well, and I am super excited for this episode because I'm interviewing my dad. He is somebody that I have looked up to and has helped raise me to become the person that I am. I want this episode to focus on learning more about what my dad has gone through in his life and kind of picking apart his brain. I feel like we have a lot of similarities, and I think my dad is a very interesting person, and I'm really excited for you all to get to know him as well. Dad, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Kua. A little bit nervous because this is raw. I did not look at any other questions, so it's gonna be fun. All
Yes,
right.
yes. We are just going to get started right away then. Dad, why don't you tell us a little bit about your life story? What are some events in your life that shaped who you are today?
Oh man. Wow, where do I start? Let's start from birth, and I'll try to make it quick.
Mm-hmm.
Born in Thailand. We came here to the United States in '87 as immigrants because of the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
Landed in Sheboygan. Been here since. Um, Growing up, was a pretty naughty kid
In high school?
in high school. Um, I am 46 right now, so individuals around my age, you guys know that we were probably in high school and middle school, a lot of naughty kids. So got married young, and then moved to Madison and then back to Sheboygan here. Went to college in Milwaukee, and I graduated with a master's in occupational therapy. So, a lot of life-changing events. If we do get personal,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of you know Iris and Nolan. I had my first marriage, like I said, married young, so we got divorced. The kids stayed with me. I raised them since they were 1 and 3. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I think one of the pivotal things in your life that I still look up to today is you being in college while raising us. Especially as a single parent, it takes a lot of dedication to be able to kind of change and switch your life around from where it was since you were, that naughty kid in high school. So, what are some of your most proudest moments in life thus far? I know you've got many more to come, but
I think my proudest moment is to realize that my 3 kids are good people. Okay. They're not great people. I always say that. They're not great people because they're still trying to be great, with the help of my wife, with the help of my immediate family, my friends. That makes me proud because I felt like, okay, even though through the hard and difficult times, I did an okay job of
for sure,
raising
raising
them.
us, yeah.
So I think that's probably, I don't want to say a moment, but it's a long moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
So
That makes sense, yeah. When you're a kid, the only person that you really know how to follow is your parent. So, seeing you push through all those hard times too, even though I probably barely knew what was going on, I think that instills a lot of motivation that I have right now today too.
yeah. And I think that's one of the main reasons is, when you guys are younger, I didn't explain to you and to Nolan and even
Mm-hmm.
to Anakin right now what I was doing, what I was going
Yeah,
through.
yeah,
But as you got older, you start to learn about what we went through, what I went through.
for
So,
sure, yeah.
as a parent, you do want to set good examples
Mm-hmm.
for your kids too.
We are going to now dive into a section about your hobbies and sports because I know that that has played a really pivotal role in just your upbringing and your kind of lifestyle. I know we are a pretty active family, and so you've always been really involved in sports, gaining traction as a great Hmong basketball player, and now just recently being named the first Hmong cornhole professional from Wisconsin. Congratulations. Tell us about your experience with both of those and how they might have differed.
Yeah, I played a lot of basketball when I was probably I want to say in the 90s to the 2000s. Basketball is more of a team sport, where
Mm-hmm.
cornhole, you really have to just depend on yourself.
Mm-hmm. How do you think your mindset was back when you were a younger basketball player versus like since you have more wisdom now? Do you feel like your mentality is different or has it always been the same?
It's different.
Okay.
Um, as I think I go back to when I was younger, I would be frustrated that I am not winning.
Okay.
I am not the best. I will get frustrated at that. And then I realize, hey, a lot of people are just naturally more talented than me.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're talented and they're working hard,
Right.
um, they would be better players than me. And I can't always win at everything. I can't be frustrated with me not winning. I also learned that uh, it's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be more of a team player. I think when I was younger, I was more of an individual. Even in basketball, I
Yeah.
was more of an individual player. And now that I'm more mature when I play basketball, it's more of a team player.
I feel like watching you play basketball as a kid too. I remember you always demanding the ball, being like, "Give me
Mhm.
the ball, give me the ball." But now, seeing you play cornhole and still around the court on basketball, I feel like your role has not been to demand the ball as much, but more so, like you said, adapting to understanding when it's good to be a team player versus when to really take that moment to shine for
Yeah.
yourself.
I do want to say that every competitive player, we all have big egos. I ain't gonna lie. I do have a big ego. I do want to win. I'm very competitive. It's just that some people know how to hide it a little bit better. And I hide my ego a lot. Many people probably thought Kwa is such
Like humble.
humble. His ego is not big. It's just because I hide it well.
Okay.
But yes, Dad's competitiveness, as you can tell, it's super high.
Yeah.
Dad's ego is I always want to be better than everybody. But I am humble though.
Right, and you
I
put in
am
the
humble.
work too. So
Yeah,
it's like as long as you know that you're trying your best and you're putting in the work,
mhm,
then I feel like that's all you kind of need.
correct.
Um, the outside noise, you don't have to focus on it as much because you already know that you've
Hmm.
put in the work for it.
Yep.
My other question about sports related stuff is how have sports helped you build relationships or a sense of community over the years?
Yeah. As I have mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
even though cornhole is individual, overall sports it helps with building communication with other people, communication with the community. As of right now, when I play cornhole, I still, even though it's individual,
Yeah,
I still help coach whoever wants to learn basketball. Same thing.
right.
It builds a lot of character with how to handle tough times with individual, how to encourage individual. In my lifetime, I have not met anybody who says, "Oh man, I don't like to play with Cool."
Mm-hmm.
And if they did, they didn't tell me. So I think, and it's because I encourage everybody to do their best, and
Yeah.
I uh, never put anybody down.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
when they're not doing well,
Mhm.
I think again, it's you learn those kind of skills. You learn how to deal with people. You learn how people respond to encouragement.
Yeah.
Some you might have to be a little bit more demanding because you see their potential, but others, if you are a little bit too harsh on them, then they shut down. So you
Mm-hmm.
gotta learn those kind of skills.
Yeah.
Again, reading people and again communicating with whether it be your teammates, other parents, adult,
Right.
um, or the younger kids that you're coaching,
Yeah.
or that are playing with you. So,
Yes, I agree. Do you think that playing your sports within the Hmong community, like I know we have the Hmong tournaments in the summer, and specific cornhole tournaments that Hmong people host as well.
Mhm.
How do you think that has impacted your view of what it means to be a Hmong person?
Yeah, we as small individuals, we have some physical limitations. What I mean by that is height.
Yeah.
So, um, and I think that is probably the main one.
Hmm.
So, playing in the Hmong tournaments, obviously, if you have height, you have a huge
Yeah.
advantage. Over the years, playing in Hmong tournaments has taught me, oh my gosh, besides height, we have all the skills in the world to compete with anybody.
Yeah.
Um, Now, with that said, cornhole is where you eliminate all of that. Cornhole is has nothing to do with height, nothing to do with that. So I think that's probably why I love cornhole so much
Hmm.
because when I play basketball and football, and volleyball a little bit, it has always been like, okay, you know what? Height is an advantage,
Hmm.
and obviously we as small individuals, we don't have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with that said, these Hmong kids these days, they're getting taller and taller.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to, seeing the first Hmong professional football, especially football player, basketball player.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's volleyball, but like the first Hmong volleyball player. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like we're definitely getting there too,
Mhm.
because as we adapt more to the American culture, more kids are getting training earlier in
Yeah.
sports. And just within our community itself, we have a lot of passion for the things that we do, and that takes us really far.
Even though we have a little bit of a chat here about the height, you cannot do anything about it. You gotta love what you have. You gotta understand how to use your speed. You gotta understand, sometimes being shorter might help.
Hmm.
So you gotta learn how to use that and not use height as an excuse
Yeah.
because you ain't gonna get taller. We ain't gonna, so I
Yeah.
think it's a message that I like to pass to our community that you know, whoever we are, you gotta love yourself. You gotta learn how to use what you have
Hmm.
and be happy about that and be
Hmm.
satisfied about it. Because if you keep on giving reasons why you're not successful in sports, I,
You're not
you're
gonna
not
get
gonna,
anywhere.
correct, you're not
Yeah.
gonna go that far.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We are going to move on to a new section now. Dad, you talked a little bit about how you pursued the occupational therapist
Mhm.
profession. Can you talk about your role in healthcare and how you first got involved in the field?
Yeah, when I got divorced and when I wanted to go back to school, I was like, man, what do I really want to do?
Hmm.
So I took your grandma, and which is my mom, to the hospital when she hurt her wrist.
Right.
And, I'm like, man, is there anything else more that I can do to help? So I thought about it and then I did some research, and occupational therapy was one of the main things that, works to rehab your arms, works to rehab overall your body,
Yeah.
find ways to, live independently.
Hmm.
So that's why I thought about it. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me dig a little bit into it. And then I found out that again, ooh, it might take a little bit long to go to school. And at that time, again, I was a single dad with you too. So,
Yeah. And you completed a master's program. So,
yep. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go, and that's why I got into the field. Is
nice.
because to realize, hey, I got to do something to help my family.
Right.
So, mhm,
I think the internal motivations like that is really what drives you to continue pursuing your career.
mhm,
As a healthcare worker too, I feel like I have noticed a lot of differences of how our Hmong culture views medicine versus how the general American population views it. I feel like there's still, some things that kind of disconnect between the two cultures. And so, how do you think the Hmong community views American medicine?
okay.
Whenever you go and talk to grandmas and grandpas that come and
Mhm.
ask for your help, what do they kind of say?
Yeah, so we have to really look at the origin of why, and the origin is trust. Obviously, a lot of the older generation doesn't trust medicine, American,
Mm-hmm.
especially American medicine.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, when we came here as immigrants, there's many cases that the doctor's not treating them well. So, as you know, with our Hmong community, the word spreads quickly
Yes.
through family.
Yes.
So once there's again great doctors, there's 1,000 cases, but if there's one bad case, that case
Will
now
spread.
spreads, and then the older generation's like, well, yeah, all doctors are bad. um they're only testing on us. So it's really about what the older Hmong general population experience.
Yeah, I see how that can be very unsettling at first.
Yeah, it has gotten better with the second generation like me,
Mm-hmm.
and then also passing along with third generation like you and
Mm-hmm.
people around your age. We've been educating our parents, the older generation, to seek medical help a little bit more.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of that when I was working at Aurora, is to spread the word, at least just educate them about, example, stroke,
Right.
heart attacks, just high blood pressure, the little things, just to educate them about symptoms, and then also when to seek for help,
Yeah.
when to come in. So again, we have to start building that trust. Not that we have to start, but we have to just continue to do that, to build
Mm-hmm.
that trust.
Yeah. Do you think that you having a role in the hospital and you physically being there when Hmong patients come has helped them feel more comfortable?
Yes. Yep. So when they see me at the hospital helping them, I want to say almost everybody, 100% of the time, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that,
Mm-hmm.
there is a Hmong worker here.
Yeah.
Um, and that if I have any concerns, I know you will treat me right.
Yeah.
So, again, it makes them feel more comfortable, it makes them
Mm-hmm.
trust the doctors. And I tell them, hey, if you need anything from me, I will pass that to the doctor. And
Right.
sometimes I will be there if you feel like I need to be there to help educate you or help you make those decisions. I will try to do my best. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit more trust in the Sheboygan community right now. There's more Hmong nurses, there's more Hmong doctors.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing a better job. We need to continue to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it has improved significantly over the
Yeah.
last 20 years.
I agree. What do you do when there are really stubborn older generation Hmong Americans who don't want to follow the treatment advisories that doctors give?
Yeah. So one of the most important thing is, again, we have to keep in mind that it's what the patient wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's what they want. But again, we have to understand why they don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, if they know more about it and if they trust the system, they'll be more willing uh, to allow treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing that I say to my family and to my parents is, I always say this in Hmong to them. Nè tứ có cú một cần tớ có cú theo lý bảo bán nè.
Mm-hmm.
Asian nó thì cú yếu bán nè thì lý nó thì hơn nè chính trị cả. Họ treatment nó thế nó thì chưa lý cú cần tớ nè thì chính chính cú thì mà nè họ sao có cú mu mu cờ lo bán nè thì mà nè họ chỉ cả cú bán nè no. So what I mean by that is, mom and dad, you told me that I should go into the health field, I should try to be a doctor so that I can help you. Well, now is the time. Now I know that
Right.
this treatment works. Now I've seen it, but yet you won't take it when
Mm-hmm.
you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell them, that's why you sent me to school so I can help you. So please let me help you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do say that to a lot of my family, so that way hopefully they will be able to understand it and know that, hey, it's just not that this white doctor is saying it, your son is saying it too. And
Right.
so hopefully that will help them make a better decision.
Yeah, and I think it can be really frustrating at times too. I'm glad that we don't have to go through that within this generation. I mean, if you think about it, within one turnover of a generation already, we have a better understanding of
Yeah.
medicine and of understanding where our culture lies in that and how to balance it out a little bit better.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that is one of the difficult things when being a healthcare worker too is sometimes I meet older generation Hmong people who are very open to getting the help that they need, and whatever the doctor says, they'll follow it.
Yeah.
Other people are very reluctant, and it you just kind of have to take it case by case
Correct.
more so. Either way, I feel like at my workplace too, I love seeing Hmong people come in. At least I know that they're asking for help. And so being that trusting figure, like that bridge still that we talk about and a lot of healthcare workers understand between the older generation, your parents, versus the scary medicine field is really important too.
Yeah.
We are going to go into the next section.
Hmm.
Thank you for talking about all of your experiences so far. I hope you all have been learning a lot about what my dad has gone through in life and why he's so inspiring to me. This section is going to be about parenting styles.
Hmm.
So, you talked about being a single parent already, and now with our stepmom, you aren't a single parent anymore. And so, I feel like those are two different worlds probably that you were
Yeah.
able to live through. My question for you is, what are some challenges raising kids as a single parent while you were still growing up yourself?
Wow, yeah, that's a tough question. Probably the hardest challenge is with time,
Mm-hmm.
and meaning, let's say if you get up, you got to cook breakfast, and then when you're done cooking breakfast, you got to do the dishes, clean up, and then cook again, and then after you cook lunch, repeat the same thing, and then cook dinner. So there isn't really that much time, and you have to plan well. You might have to plan ahead. You might have to just have meals that are easily cooked.
Yeah.
So those are some challenges, especially if the kids are home. But as you get older and you are now in school, it gives me a little bit of time. Where
Mm-hmm.
now I can do more. I can take more classes. I can
Yeah.
also work more hours. So that is one of the challenges. Is again just trying to find time. The other challenge is the feeling of guilt that the kids now don't have a mom. The feeling of guilt of like, what did I do wrong in my relationship in the past? So I think that is probably the biggest challenge, to forgive yourself, to
Yeah.
say, hey, you know what? You make those mistakes, to be accountable for it,
Mm-hmm.
and then forgive yourself and move on and try to do what's best now for your kids, because now you're the mom and the dad.
Yeah. Were you able to go and have fun at least during certain times?
Yeah. So being a single parent, you have to know that it's okay to get help. I could not have done this with the help of my parents, my immediate family, your uncles, your aunties, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, and then also, with mom now, she was a big part of it. But yeah, at that time, I was going to school, working, taking care of you guys. So, what I had was from Friday and Saturday and a little bit of Sunday, those were my reset days,
Yeah.
where the friends would come and take me out. So I was kind of living two different lives.
Yeah.
At that time. So, yeah, even though I had a lot of things and responsibilities on my plate, I did find time for myself to reset.
Yeah. I think that's reassuring as I'm an older kid of yours now too, to know that you still had time for yourself.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, anytime over the weekend when you weren't there, I know I was such a protective child too. I would call and be like, Dad, what are you doing? Where are you? Who are you with? But it's still reassuring now
Yeah.
as I'm older to know that you were able to have those good times still.
Yeah. And that's why I said you guys are really responsible and very independent, because you had to help me a lot with chores, with responsibilities around the house.
And sometimes I feel like as your kids are growing up, they don't need to fully know everything too.
Correct. They just don't understand it yet.
Yeah, and having that space for yourself too is like a good way to be able to reset, like you said,
Yeah.
and be able to still show up as a good parent. Because I feel like if you were to not have those days,
Mhm.
all of that guilt, the pressure would have probably built up, and you really have to be able to work through all of that at
Yeah.
the same time,
Yep.
which is so amazing about parenting.
The
Yeah.
thing is that a lot of single parents feel guilty for going out, feel guilty for leaving their kids for a day, leaving their kids, so it's something that single parents need to understand
Mhm.
that it's okay to take a day for yourself, along with not just like single parents, but if you are a caregiver of an adult parent who has disabilities,
Right.
or if you're just helping with your parents,
Mhm.
it's like if you do anything for yourself, you feel bad.
Mhm.
But it's okay to do that. It's okay to have that reset day. So,
Yeah. Do you feel like during that time you were able to focus on like self-discovery, or when did you start to realize like the type of person that you are? I feel like that is something that I am just starting to
oh yeah.
understand about my like the type of person I am. So while you were still having to juggle so many things, did you get that time for yourself?
Yes. Yep. So I think for me, if I
Mhm.
were to put in my timelines, that period, I learned a lot about myself. I
Okay.
learned, again, not giving up. I
Yeah.
learned how to say, hey, there's ups and downs. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. The motivation cannot disappear. And you use your kids as motivation, you use your family as motivation.
Yeah.
So that really developed me into the character that I am. But again, to understand there's good days, there's bad days, to let go of those days and to take a day at a time when things get difficult. Because
Mhm.
sometimes when you think about the future, you too much, it gets into your head.
I
And
see.
then if you can't let go of the past, it also gets into your head too. So
Right.
yeah.
My next question is, how has your parenting style changed over time since you were a young parent fathering me and my brother, and then now we have Anakin, and I feel like I've also seen it become more mature, just more open too.
Yeah, one of the most important thing that you got to understand with raising kid is not every kid is the same. They don't respond to your parenting style the same. With you,
Mm-hmm.
I can be more direct with you. You're able to handle that a little bit better. With Nolan, if I'm more direct with him, he shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that both of you are very different.
Yeah.
And now with Anakin he's got a attitude of his own. He's probably got a combination of both of you. So at that time, I had to be a little bit more strict simply because I needed you guys to grow up a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So now with Anakin, with the help of mom and you guys, I have a little bit more time with him. So I'm not as strict on him, where with you guys, we barely had time together to do a lot of
Yeah.
kid stuff.
Yeah,
So
that makes
yeah.
sense. I feel like he still thinks that you're strict today. Somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow he does.
Compared from you two
Yes.
to him, oh, day and night.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
I would say though it's nice to see you be more open and now that you have the time and the help from our mom and still our family today, it's good to be able to see how it has progressed over time because in the past all you had time to do was make sure we had our basic needs met.
Mhm.
We were all just
Correct.
surviving during that time period
Yeah.
of our lives, but we went through it together and then now being able to take that, learn from it and then be able to make it better for our next generations and our younger brother too. It's something good that
Yeah.
we see.
Yeah.
So, what are some characteristics that you've recognized that you get from your parents?
Um, I think, again, just being very independent.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the characteristics that I got from my parents, from your grandma and grandpa, and then also I think that's why you guys got it from me too, is
Mm-hmm.
you're very independent. You don't wait for anybody. If you really want to do something, you're gonna do it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the characteristics that I see uh from all three of you. The other characteristic is I would use the term witty.
Okay.
Very witty, meaning I'll give the example of, let's say you would come and ask me, Dad, are you busy? And I'm like, nope, I'm not doing anything. Do you have anything going on later at night or like later in the afternoon? Nope. And then you'll be like, okay, well, I just want you to know that I did the chores, I cleaned the bathroom, I did all of my chores. Do you need help cooking? Do you want me to do anything else? Um, And then I would be like, "Oh, yeah, well, great job for cleaning the bathroom."
Mm-hmm.
And you would tell me all of the good stuff.
Okay.
And then here's the real point of your conversation is, okay, Dad, can we go get ice cream or can we go to McDonald's or can we go bowling then? You
Uh-huh.
know, and then so I can't say no anymore simply because I already said I'm not busy and that you did such a great job cleaning the house. And you did all of your homework. So I think all three of you have that in you. So
Yeah, I will support that claim because I do remember doing that to you a lot, and I see how Anakin does it now.
correct.
When I first moved back home, I was able to talk a lot more with you and mom now about the things that you guys have experienced as kids, and hearing you talk about your own childhood experiences and the traits that you might have gotten from grandma and grandpa, it
Hmm.
made me realize that we're all just human beings who are trying to navigate life. And then it makes me appreciate that, oh, all these characteristics, they come from generations down and they adapt as we go. So it was really cool to hear more about what your thoughts are on your own parents. And having a kid too, you know that, those positive reflections, negative reflections on your parents' character and how they affect yourself individually is really important. And it's something really cool for us to talk about. And I feel like I see a lot of you in myself too. When my friends meet you, they're also like, you guys talk the same. I never realized how much of an impact your parents and your family have on the person that you are. All right, so we are approaching our last section. This section is going to be about Hmong leadership roles that you've had. Can you talk more about your leadership role within our family clan right now?
Recently, our clan, just meaning our clan, meaning our brothers and sisters, Bei Chin Ning Na, in our
Mhm.
Hmong culture, we said, Bei Tu Dai Tu Kwa. So just within our immediate family, they asked me to be what the Hmong people call Tu Nai Ban, meaning just the leader of our clan. So, recently within the last 2 years, and also probably for the next 2 more years,
Yeah.
I will be taking on that role. It is difficult, but again, it is such a great role to be because of how much you learn about the culture.
Yeah.
You learn about how to lead grown men. You learn how to make difficult choices. You learn how to make difficult decisions. So all of that has been, even though I didn't want it, I
Hmm.
look back on it, it's been a blessing,
Yeah.
and I learned so much from uh, other leaders along the
Right.
way.
Knowing that you have some kind of support behind you of being able to fulfill the role, I thought was really inspiring too.
Yeah, I was shocked too when they voted
Yeah.
me. So yeah, I didn't think I was ready because I don't know much about our traditions.
Hmm.
But again, with what you said, is I have a great team that backs me up. So.
What are new things that you've learned about our culture while during your time of doing this?
Yeah, it's just that it has to go through a lot of different levels, meaning it has to go through a decision, has to go through the elders, a
Hmm.
decision has to be talked about.
Ooh.
And those are set in good intentions so that we don't
Uh-huh.
miss anything,
Hmm.
ideas that come up has to be decided by having a community talk.
Right, a group.
Yeah, group talk, yeah. And again, it takes a little bit of time,
Mhm.
but because that way all of the thoughts and ideas that generated are welcome, and that
Yeah.
way we don't miss anything.
Yeah. And everybody feels like they have a say. Do you feel
Correct.
like that is correct most sometimes though?
um Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
Our traditional rules, in our traditional culture, it hasn't been I would say it's not as strict
Hmm.
as it used to be in the past.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that too.
And so one of my final questions about our Hmong culture is, do you think that the Hmong culture is dying? What is your opinion on that?
It's evolving.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's dying because within the last 5 years, people who are my age and my generation are there's more shamanism now. There's
Mm-hmm.
more people who are learning how to do that. Now with the internet, there's people who are trying to learn our traditions and
Yeah.
how to continue that, such as marriages, what to do when there's a death, what to do. Now, your generation, probably the third or fourth generation, do they
Mm-hmm.
want to continue our culture and our traditions? I think it's decreased simply
Uh-huh.
because your generation have found that a lot of our tradition and our culture doesn't work for this environment,
Yeah, that
meaning
makes
it
sense.
doesn't work in the United States because we have jobs. We can't do 3 days of wedding or 3 days of funeral and
Uh-huh.
then have to go back and work.
Yeah,
So we've been learning how to adapt to our environment.
that makes sense. I feel like that's a better way to put it than
Yeah.
rather saying, "Oh, it's dying."
Yeah, and as you get older, you're going to really value who you are.
Hmm.
All of us, including me, because our culture was so strict, and including you too, when you grew up as a teenager, you really shy away from our culture because of how
Yeah.
strict it was. But as you get older, you realize who you are. You revert back to who you are. You go back to
Uh-huh.
your core, you go back to your Hmong culture, and
Hmm.
then that's when you really understand the reason why it is so strict.
Yeah.
And in our culture, those strict traditions are set to help the culture as a whole,
Right.
not as an individual.
I agree. Yeah. I feel like talking about it in that way helped me understand it a lot more. Like our roles and responsibilities are to help serve the group and it helps teach us how to put ourselves aside.
Yeah.
Okay, and as we reach the end of this episode, Dad, I have one more question for you. What is something that you've recently learned?
Wow. Something that I recently learned from reading and from just watching a lot of videos on how to improve your life, your
Hmm.
thinking. Some of you have known, but my father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and then also my mother-in-law had a massive stroke, so she's currently living with us.
Hmm.
Um, from staying home with them and from observing and watching their life, there's three things that we have to really consider. And one of them is time, health, and then finance, money. I learned that when you're young, you have your health, you have a little bit of time, but you don't have money. And then at mid age, you have a little bit of money, you have a little bit of your health, but then you don't have time.
Hmm.
And then when you're older, you have money, you have time, but now you don't have your health.
I
So
see.
if you can find a balance between, having a little bit of time, a little bit of money, and a little bit of your health left, your life will be more fulfilling.
Hmm.
I think that as of right now, while I still have a little bit of my health, a little bit of money, and I didn't have time, uh, I resigned from my position so that I can spend more time
Yeah.
with the family.
Yeah.
So again, if we can find balance between those three, our life will be a little bit more prosperous.
When you told me about you leaving your job too for this, I thought that it was something so out of your character to do. It's definitely cool to see how your own personal growth has
Correct.
progressed and what you prioritize now. Yeah, I'm just excited to support you and help you through this time too and spend more time together
Yeah.
as well.
So I look at grandma and grandpa and them, and then they work very hard, and now their health is poor. So
Right.
now they can't even spend the money that they have. Now they can't do anything that they
Mm-hmm.
want, or they're limited on whatever they want to do.
Right.
So I want to make sure that I spend the time with the family while I still can. If I want to take trips, that I can still do that with my health.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's as we grow and as we get older, we have to continue to learn and
Mm-hmm.
not think that, hey, we're gonna live the way we live.
Mm-hmm.
I think again, you gotta continue to grow as a
Yeah,
person.
for sure. think the journey of life is just all about learning.
Correct.
Well, that concludes our podcast episode. Dad, thank you so much again for joining me and kind of reflecting back on everything that you've gone through, that
Yeah.
we've gone through together. I think it was really cool to reflect back on all of those times
Mhm.
because, we did go through good and bad together, and that's exactly what family is about too. Still loving each other, caring for one another. I hope you all enjoyed all these conversations we had, and you could see how much the Hmong culture is involved in many aspects of one's life, like
Mhm.
sports, your marriages, parenting styles, the roles that you take on and decide to pursue in life. So, yes, thank you all for listening again. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time.
Yeah, well, thank you again for listening and for watching. I hope that if I can influence one individual, it will be a blessing.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
if you guys ever have any other questions, feel free to, let Iris know. Okay? All
Yes.
right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.